Hi Capricorn, welcome back to my channel. It's Krista here to do your October 2019 General Tarot Reading Forecast for you. This is for Capricorn Sun, Capricorn Moon, and Capricorn Rising signs. All right guys, I really hope that you enjoyed your September 2019 reading. So you do have free monthlies on my channel, but I have begun uploading free daily tarot readings and they're pretty neat. Check them out. Radical Angel 33 on Instagram is where you can get those. You can also follow me on Facebook. Just look for me at Radical Angel on Facebook, and your readings will be there every day as well. All right, Capricorn, Sun, Moon, Rising. What is in store for you for October? What can you expect? What do you need to know? Messages for Capricorn. October, 2019. Messages for Capricorn. What does Capricorn need to know for October 2019? So we're going to be doing a 4-card spread today, folks. We're going to be looking at some pretty basic issues, but I find them pretty well-rounded. And then, of course, we'll get jumper cards from our oracle decks here. Messages for Capricorn, Sun, Moon, Rising. Capricorn, Sun, Moon, Rising. All right. All right, we're going to be looking at the past, present, future, and there will be an advice card or outcome, however you want to look at that. Let's put these over here a tiny bit, folks. Looks like you might be kind of uptight or perturbed or bothered by some options or overthinking or sleeplessness or even anxiety at this time, but it could be because of some options here. You might feel stuck or perturbed by something, but a lot of it is this measure of sort of like self-entrapment here. There's a little bit of worry. Very interesting to see this. We have a 7 and 2 7s, an 8 and a 9. What's at the bottom of the deck? We have a 4, dissatisfaction. Wow. Capricorn, what could you possibly be dissatisfied about, particularly emotionally, right? We have a couple of air, we have a couple of water, and then we have some solid pentacle and then some fire energy here. Or wands, as it were. Very interesting. So you have a little bit from all of the elements. You could be feeling, thinking, doing, protecting. Could be like feeling like a very busy month for you in October, but let's see why. So bottom of the deck energy really sort of indicates here with the 4 of Cups, there's just this sort of boredom, right? There's this emotional boredom. There's this sense of, and like I said, it's really interesting because what you have, you're moving out of in the first week of the month, I would say at least by the end of the first week of the month, you're moving out of this sense of like, you might have been exploring some emotional or personal or even, interesting options here or had something available to you. And then all of a sudden, like presently, there's this, it's worse than feeling stuck. You're almost like, you've done the math and now you're like, I just can't make a move for some reason. So this might feel like a pitiful place to be in currently as you're watching it, for example, but there is a way out, right? There is this sense of, what does the future hold? Something very, very positive and sturdy and stable. And then, definitely hold your ground here. I would try to get excited about something. It's so interesting that there are actually 2 7s at the beginning and at the end. One is suggesting, options. The other is suggesting a sense of a defensiveness. So and then of course the defensiveness and the sense of anxiety surround this, what you have. There's there's a permanency here. So there could just be a dissatisfaction around something that you've made a choice about that you feel or you've convinced yourself you can't get away from for some reason. But the bottom of the deck energy, I am going to sort of express both of these energies against all of these cards here. So again, this sense of, emotional boredom, kind of, not really satisfied. And this would make sense that this is showing up here then, you're looking at some options, but it doesn't appear to be doing you any good, at least for the month, right? So, I mean, I would what we're going to do is pay more attention to the Eight of Pentacles, just because it's the sturdiest, most stable, and the most practical energy out of all of these cards for the month. And you get the greatest rewards from that as well. But I do want to mention the Five of Swords right underneath this Four of Cups. So we have this sense of dissatisfaction or even, a boredom here. And then we have this Five of Swords, which is, if there's an argument, if there's a debate, there has to be a loser in this debate, unfortunately. If this is going on, internally for you, Capricorn, for example, if this isn't a relationship or a job situation, or you're not discussing any of what appears to be going on here with someone else, this could be occurring internally for you. And it's just almost like, cut your losses. There's a win or lose situation here. There might be another way of examining it, looking at it, exploring it, gathering more information, perhaps even thinking about it as well. But it looks like there's another time to do that. It looks like in October, kind of like maybe things are moving quickly in either health or finances, or, building something, or in perfecting something here as well. So if I want to mention at this point as well, Capricorn, if there's any second guessing at this time, don't torture yourself, at least for October, really try not to go about this world of second guessing. I think options is nice. I think with the Seven of Cups, like I said, we're going to just be sliding out of this energy by the end of the first week in October. I think options is nice, and it's a nice way to allow for something. Let's say you did win an argument with yourself, let's just say, right? Or you had to cut a loss here. It's going to feel dissatisfying, right? And you may be looking for something else, looking for something deeper, looking for more emotional satisfaction, right? We've stepped up from the 4 to the 7. It looks like you are at least aware of what might be making you happy here. But, in the present moment, at least while you're watching this, right? Or the beginning of the second week of the month, we're looking at this 9 of Swords, which is, really extraordinary doubt. And I would say like this sort of anxiety, slippery sloping into panic mode, right? Ultimately, with the 9 of Swords is talking about, however, is sleeplessness. It's something you're unable to rest about something. You don't have either clarity, or you have accepted that you will never get what you want. For example, your heart isn't being, something's not filling your heart completely here, or to your desires, your emotional desires, if you're tuned into those, for example. And perhaps this is what some of this is, Capricorn. I want to mention now as well, perhaps this energy here is really more about, again, this is all about you, okay? Now you decide whether this has to do with other people or not, but I'm going to suggest that internally to you, it could be a matter of, either letting yourself explore some more emotional options or more information. Could really help you out at this time as well, because I do feel that you have, with the 9 of Swords, it's just, it's like a panicked, it's a stuck energy, and it's just, it's a shame to see anyone going through that. Ultimately, like we are saying as well, because these are representing the weeks. I mean, this isn't going to take all day or all week necessarily. It could just be a moment that you are sort of experiencing this feeling, for example. So luckily, by the end of the second week in the month, we're going to be, moving into what feels more stable, putting the time, the energy. We're almost at the 10 of Pentacles here, right? With the 8, we're almost at the sense of legacy and happy home and hearth and home and total stability. This is also the apprentice, right? This is someone who is absolutely perfecting their craft. The only caveat here is that you are perfecting something that has stability and manageability and growth and pays dividends, right? But not at the expense of, say, your own sense of mental freedom, your own sense of relaxation, right? These are all of these put together, for example, just if like these are out of sorts, these are out of sorts. This is someone who's pretty defensive, but this is really, really stable. So we're going to try to if you need to, right? You know, try to cling to this, cling to what is the most stable this month, and really try not to pick too much at it. Maybe even try to find some emotional or intellectual or mental, you know, relief or calm within at least this sense of, you know, something's going right here. We're going to pay attention to what's going right, I guess, in the month of October for you. And like I said, we have this advice card, or the outcome being the 7 of Wands. This is defensiveness, but ultimately it's a nice place to be, right? You have your argument together. You have your sources. You have higher ground here. People have to look up to you in order to get information from you. People, you're standing on, this is a confident place to be, right? This is a confident place to, say, defend a state of mind, a process, an opinion, a belief, even a way of life, right? So and again, if this is all going on internally to you, you could just be being defensive within yourself so that you don't have to explore these other themes, which may very well be, you know, does there have to be a loser in the situation? And can I have a full heart? Can I have my wishes and needs met here? My emotional needs and wishes here. So really curious reading for you. No major arcana. So that's very, very interesting. This is also another reason why I'm going to suggest, Capricorn, that this really is an inside job for you this month. I don't see, right now anyway, we'll get another card here, but I don't see, you know, any source or, you know, sort of supernatural forces here behind what's going on. I think that you are aware that you may be fully in charge of any given situation, and either you're denying outsider source energy, or source may just be waiting for you or seeing what you want to materialize. Because there has been a process of visualization here, but it's like you're thwarted. There's something thwarting you here, and definitely you, right? This sense of, it's worse than feeling just stuck though. The 8 of Swords is just stuck. I'm in my own way. The 9 is like absolute kind of, it's very anguished. Anyway, I'm sad to see that there for you. But it is only a month, and it's only a week in the month that's there. So let us look at what that anguish might be. What is the past about? I have not really done the past card for extra clarity, but I want to see what's going on behind all this. It could be a matter of the heart. It could be a financial decision. It could just be more thinking. So what's going on here with the 9 of Swords with regard to the problem? Tell me more about the 9 of Swords as the problem. Wow. Okay, so there's our major arcana. We do have the Hierophant. We do have some Taurus energy here. So, right. So matters having to do with the heart, beauty, love, romance, music. But ultimately the Hierophant is really talking about institutions, right? The institution of fill in the blank, whatever that institution is for you, whatever this has to do with the most for you as you're watching this. So this is clarifying the 9 of Swords here. This is really about what is expected of us socially. These are social contracts. This could literally be a vow, a contract, a marriage, sure. But it's technically about institutions. It's the institution of that contract, you know, a legal institution, right? Or a wedding vow, that's a marital institution. If you're to conduct music or art, there are specific basics that you need. There are artistic institutions, etc., etc. So it could just be about you feeling like you have to undermine your own progress here, or you feel thwarted within these areas somehow. But I'm going to suggest strongly that this is what it has to do about, seeing as that what jumped out when we talked about the Nine of Swords, that it could be an institutional situation. It could be long-standing, could just be old and ancient as well. Institutions outlive us. They are a lot like empires, right? So there could be an empire involved here that is thwarting some sense of mental or intellectual movement, satisfaction, development, that type of thing. And it could be, I mean, we don't have the Page of Swords here, and I'm semi-reluctant to even say there could be just an overarching element of pessimism. If we were just strictly looking at these, I wouldn't even have brought it up. The reason I bring up pessimism is because of the underlying energy cards here, both the Five of Swords and the Four of Cups, right? These are very, very dissatisfied energies behind those cards. Dissatisfaction, loss, argument, win or lose, winner take all could be another element. Time to go. Yeah, so I mean, there could be an element here this month for you where we need to pack something up. We need to move away from something that strictly doesn't work for us anymore. I'm going to suggest that this is part of the Seven of Wands energy, right? Like, defend what is worth defending, what is stable and pays dividends. And maybe if this isn't the right time for you, make a vow with yourself or convince yourself somehow that you will look at something that needs to be let go of, at least sooner than later, and that you deserve peace, right, from this anguish or this anxiety here. But time to go. I mean, she's really heading toward, it's curious, I hope you can see this. There is a door beyond the mist. She can't really even see what's in front of her. In fact, the door may be a mirage. But the beautiful part about this card, in my estimation, which is very different from the Not For You card, right? There is a Not For You card in here, which means you're not going to get what you want, so don't bother. Time to go is we're going to move forward even though we don't know what to do next. It's actually a really positive energy. Taking a tiny calculated risk at this time. I mean, another way to read that is to say time to get going as well, like time to get moving. If you do feel stuck, if you do feel stymied, dissatisfied, incomplete, bothered, and if any of these terms are making sense for you in the month of October, Capricorn, I will suggest that perhaps it's just time to, make a little move toward that mist into the future, into the, also known as, unknown, into the unknown. It's time to take a step into the unknown. A card dropped. 1 second, folks. Yeah, this just fell on the floor. I mean, we do have magic here, right? We have the Raven. I think there could be a level of either you're unaware of your own magic, the power of your own magic, the power of your own mind, etc., or you are hyper aware of it and it's being misused. Capricorn, really try to get a check on that, okay? You're far more powerful than perhaps you'd given yourself credit for. I do think that you have an insiders, how do I say that? I do think you have a natural propensity for the practice of magic, the understanding of it, the practice of it, I would just say in general, occult knowledge. We are dealing with the card of magic here. Raven does cover magic. So there is magic at work here, whether you are aware of it or not. Because we have some really decisive sword energy, both the 5 and the 9 of swords. And we have the Hierophant qualifying the 9 of swords as well. It could be that the institution of higher knowledge, occult knowledge, Gnostic knowledge, could be available to you. This could be something that's been missing, something that you're unaware of, or something that's necessary or being drawn into your life at this time. Beware that if you are a magician and you are using magic, that you are using white magic. Release your ex. The time has come to clear your energy. This is really, really, I mean, just excessively important, right? Really, when we're looking at X, we're looking at old energy, old negative baggage, 5th house energy, old sun, an outlook, right? An outlook, a way of life, that type of thing. We're going to try to let that go and deal with reality, deal with what is. Stay positive. keep building on something for the future. It could just be that, you know, you have to finish something here. You have to just level up a tiny bit more, and then you can focus on something else. Maybe your focus is on so many practical items right now that everything else is taking a back seat. Get through the end of the month if you can. With this going on here, Capricorn, and then we're going to play with, you know, stepping into the unknown, using magic as your guide. Magic can be something as simple, Capricorn, by the way, as being aware of what you say and think. Like 100%, that is magic. That is the practice of magic. It is called spelling or spell making. So if this interests you at all, look into it. I mean, you have the internet, so go nuts looking it up. There's a ton of information. But if you are well versed in magic or the world of the occult, or, you know, creating spells and that type of thing, it could be that you can really help yourself out at this time by releasing old negative energy as well. You need to get away from something that just isn't working for you anymore. So you have, you know, time to go, release your ex, and only you know what that's about. And you know what, Capricorn, it really isn't even anyone else's business if you don't want them to know. You can do this privately. Especially if you've already been struggling with something privately, unless you actually need help at this time, you know, keep going. Be your own best friend and help yourself through this difficult time. We have trust and surrender and release. Yes. So here with release your ex, here is another release energy. Here is a trust. Time to go into the unknown. Really significant energies here for you to follow up this reading. I think you can help yourself out of something difficult by switching up how you think. And that's how I'm going to leave it, Capricorn. I had a blast reading this for you. I love reading tarot. So thank you so much for joining me. I hope this was helpful. Comment below. Let me know how it worked out. Like and share my videos. Subscribe to my channel. And follow me on Instagram for your daily readings. See you in the next video, everybody. Bye for now.